You know what's interesting? A man can meet dozens of women, smart, beautiful, successful, and still feel nothing deeper than surface level attraction. But then, one day, he meets her, and suddenly, everything slows down. There's something about the way she moves, the calm in her eyes, the quiet confidence in her voice. She's not trying to impress anyone. She's not performing. She just is. And in that moment, something inside him shifts. He realizes, this woman is different. She's not chasing validation. She's not competing for attention. She's not defined by what others think of her. She knows who she is. And that energy, it's magnetic. It's rare. It's the kind of presence that makes a man question everything he thought he wanted. Because the truth is, when a woman stands in her power, when she values peace over drama, self-respect over approval, she instantly separates herself from the crowd. She doesn't need to say much. Her energy speaks louder than words ever could. And that's what today's video is about. The exact moment he realizes you're not like other women. We're going to break down what makes a woman unforgettable, what makes her energy linger long after she leaves the room, and how you can embody that difference without changing who you are. So, if you've ever felt unseen, underestimated, or overlooked, stay tuned, because after this, you'll never see yourself the same way again. When a man first meets a woman who's truly different, it's not always obvious at first glance. It's not her looks, her style, or even the way she talks that catches him. It's something deeper. It's her energy. There's an unspoken calm around her, a quiet confidence that doesn't need to be announced. She's grounded, present. And while most people are busy trying to prove their worth, she simply knows hers. At first, he might not even understand why he's drawn to her. It's subtle. The way she listens without trying to dominate the conversation. The way she smiles, not to please him, but because she's genuinely content within herself. The way she maintains eye contact, not as a tactic, but as a reflection of her comfort in her own skin. There's no rush, no urgency, no desperate attempt to make something happen. She allows moments to unfold naturally, and that's what captivates him. He begins to notice how she carries herself differently. She's not easily impressed, yet she's not dismissive either. When she speaks, her words have intention. She doesn't gossip, doesn't complain, doesn't fill silence with noise. And when she laughs, it's not to win favor. It's because she's enjoying the moment. That authenticity disarms him. It challenges the shallow patterns he's used to. He realizes she doesn't need validation to feel valuable. She's not waiting for anyone to choose her, because she's already chosen herself. That kind of energy makes a man pause. It makes him want to rise to meet her level. She doesn't make him feel like he has to chase her out of insecurity. She inspires him to pursue her out of admiration. He starts to look forward to her presence, not because she gives him constant attention, but because she gives him peace. Her mystery isn't in being unavailable, it's in being whole. She has a life, a purpose, a rhythm that doesn't revolve around him. And paradoxically, that's exactly what makes him want to be part of it. It's in the little things. The way she says no without guilt, the way she walks away from chaos, the way she protects her energy. Those are the first signs he notices that she's not like anyone else he's ever met. Attraction isn't just about chemistry or looks, it's psychological. It happens beneath the surface, where logic can't fully explain what the heart feels. When a man is around a woman who's truly different, his mind begins to process things he can't quite put into words. It's not that she's doing anything calculated. It's the natural response his subconscious has to authenticity. Her confidence, her self-control, her calmness, they all create a sense of mystery that pulls him in without effort. You see, most people chase attraction by trying to be seen, but the psychology of real attraction is the opposite. It's about being felt. When a woman is centered in who she is, when she carries peace instead of pressure, it awakens something in a man's instincts. He feels safe, but also challenged. He senses depth, and depth is rare. It's what the mind craves when it's tired of the shallow. Her presence triggers curiosity. He starts wondering what makes her so grounded. Why isn't she reacting like everyone else? Why doesn't she need to prove herself? That mystery taps into a primal part of him, the desire to understand, to explore, to earn access to what feels sacred. It's not about conquest, it's about connection. And this is where the real psychology of attraction takes hold. She's not seeking approval, so his validation loses its power. That shift creates balance. He doesn't feel like he's being chased. Instead, he finds himself wanting to show up, to be seen as worthy in her eyes. Her independence doesn't push him away. It calls him forward, because when a woman values herself deeply, it unconsciously signals that she won't tolerate less than respect, effort, and intention. It's a quiet exchange of energy. No words needed. He feels something different around her. Stability, serenity, self-respect, and it unsettles him in the best way. His brain interprets that emotional contrast as attraction, not because she's playing games, but because she's being real. In a world full of performance, her authenticity becomes the rarest form of beauty. That's the psychology behind why he can't stop thinking about her. Not because she's unattainable, but because she's unforgettable. Confidence has a language of its own. It doesn't shout, it doesn't beg, and it never tries to convince. It simply exists, steady, grounded, and undeniable. When a woman moves with quiet assurance, people feel it before they even understand it. She doesn't have to announce her worth. It's woven into her tone, her posture, her presence. And that is why confidence will always be more magnetic than looks. Physical beauty can turn heads, but confidence makes people stay. It draws attention in a different way, subtle yet powerful. When she walks into a room, she's not thinking about who's watching her. She's focused on her own energy, her own peace. That kind of self-possession instantly stands out in a world obsessed with comparison. Men notice it even if they can't explain why. It's the difference between attraction built on image and attraction built on essence. Confidence tells a silent story. I belong here. I am enough. And that story changes the way she interacts with everyone around her. She doesn't shrink when someone else shines. She celebrates others because she's secure in her own light. She doesn't chase attention because she understands that her energy is the real currency. She knows that when her vibe is right, the right people will gravitate toward her naturally. What makes confidence magnetic is that it creates emotional safety. When a man meets a confident woman, he feels he can relax. She's not trying to mold herself into his expectations. She's not desperate for reassurance. That emotional independence allows space for genuine connection. He can sense she's not looking for completion. She's looking for alignment. That kind of woman doesn't drain a man's energy. She elevates it. And here's the truth. Confidence isn't arrogance. It's not loud or forceful. It's knowing your flaws, your strengths, and choosing to stand tall anyway. It's the grace to walk away when something doesn't feel right. It's smiling without needing validation. It's saying no without fear of losing approval. That strength is magnetic because it reflects something everyone desires but few have mastered: self-acceptance. Looks can capture attention, but attention fades. Confidence, on the other hand, leaves an imprint. It lingers. It's what he remembers long after the conversation ends. When you speak from a place of self-assured peace, when your presence is calm but commanding, you become the kind of woman who doesn't compete. She simply attracts. True confidence whispers, I know who I am and I'm not afraid to be her. And that energy, that's what makes a man realize that beauty can be seen, but confidence can be felt. It's the difference between someone who looks good and someone who feels right. That's the kind of magnetism no mirror can reflect and no one can imitate. There are traits men admire deeply, but they rarely talk about them. These aren't the qualities you see glamorized on social media or praised in movies. They're quieter, more meaningful traits that speak to a man's spirit rather than his ego. And when he meets a woman who embodies them, it changes how he sees her, how he feels around her, and how he values the connection they share. The first trait is emotional maturity. A woman who doesn't react to everything, who pauses before she speaks, who chooses peace over proving a point. She stands out immediately. Men notice when a woman knows how to communicate without attacking, when she listens with empathy instead of defensiveness. That emotional steadiness feels like home to a man who's tired of chaos. It makes him feel safe enough to open up, something he rarely does easily. Then there's self-respect. Men admire women who have boundaries, not because they're difficult, but because they're clear about their standards. When a woman can walk away from what doesn't align with her values, it earns his quiet respect. She's not driven by fear of being alone. She's guided by her sense of worth, and that more than anything makes her unforgettable. Another trait is soft strength. It's the balance between kindness and confidence. She's gentle but firm, loving but not naive. She knows how to nurture without losing herself. A man can feel that energy. It's both grounding and inspiring. It makes him want to rise, to match her stability, to protect what feels genuine. Men also secretly admire independence. Not the kind that pushes people away, but the kind that says, I have a full life and I welcome you to share it, not complete it. When she has purpose, passion, and dreams beyond the relationship, he's drawn to her even more. Her independence doesn't threaten him. It challenges him to be better. And perhaps one of the rarest traits men admire is feminine grace. It's not about perfection or politeness. It's about how she handles life's moments. When she's wrong, she can apologize. When she's right, she doesn't gloat. When she's hurt, she doesn't seek revenge. She chooses healing. That kind of emotional intelligence leaves a lasting impression. Finally, men admire authenticity. They can sense when a woman is pretending, and they can sense when she's real. A woman who owns her flaws, her quirks, her story, that's magnetic. Her truth feels refreshing in a world full of masks. It's not the loudest woman in the room who captures his soul. It's the one whose energy speaks honesty, whose presence brings calm, and whose self-worth never wavers. Those are the traits men secretly admire, not because they make her perfect, but because they make her real. What turns a man off instantly isn't always what people assume. It's rarely about appearance or status. It's about energy. It's about how a woman makes him feel when she's around him. A man might be drawn to beauty at first, but it's the unseen qualities that either pull him closer or push him away. And often it's not one big moment that shifts everything. It's the subtle patterns that quietly erode attraction over time. The first thing that turns men off instantly is desperation disguised as affection. When a woman needs constant reassurance, validation, or attention, it doesn't feel like love, it feels like pressure. He senses that her happiness depends on his approval, and that weight becomes heavy. Confidence draws men in. Emotional neediness pushes them away. When she clings to him out of fear of losing him, he starts to feel suffocated instead of desired. Another instant turnoff is negativity. A woman who constantly complains, criticizes, or focuses on what's wrong drains the energy of every moment. Men, like women, are drawn to peace. When her energy feels heavy, when every conversation turns into a problem, he subconsciously begins to detach. Optimism isn't about being fake, it's about choosing not to live in bitterness. Men are also turned off by a lack of self-respect. When a woman tolerates disrespect, chases after someone who doesn't value her, or settles for less than she deserves, it sends a message: she doesn't see her own worth. And if she doesn't, it becomes hard for him to. Respect is attractive. Boundaries are magnetic. A woman who allows mistreatment doesn't inspire love. She teaches him that he can get away with less. Then there's comparison. Nothing kills connection faster than constantly measuring the relationship against someone else's. When she brings jealousy, insecurity, or competition into the mix, it creates emotional distance. A man wants to feel chosen for who he is, not tested against others. Control is another silent killer of attraction. When she tries to dictate his every move, his choices, or his pace, it makes him feel trapped. Healthy attraction thrives in freedom. When he feels trusted, he invests more. When he feels monitored, he withdraws. And lastly, bitterness. A woman who carries resentment from her past relationships often bleeds it into new ones. The constant suspicion, the guardedness, the walls, it keeps genuine connection out. Healing is what makes love feel safe again. What keeps a man intrigued isn't perfection, it's peace, grace, and self-assurance. What turns him off isn't strength, it's the absence of emotional balance. The truth is, a man doesn't pull away because she's too much. He pulls away when he feels that her energy no longer brings calm, inspiration, or authenticity. Attraction may start with appearance, but it ends when the energy feels heavy. The energy of a woman who knows her worth is something you can feel before she ever speaks. It's in the way she walks into a room, not to be seen, but because she belongs there. Her confidence doesn't demand attention, it commands respect. She doesn't need to announce her standards or explain why she won't settle. Her presence says it all. She's moved past needing validation because she's learned that real value isn't proven, it's embodied. A woman who knows her worth carries herself differently. She doesn't chase, she attracts. She's not cold or detached, she's selective. Her time, her love, her peace. These are treasures, and not everyone gets access. She's kind, but she's not a pushover. She listens, but she doesn't absorb negativity. She gives, but only from overflow, not emptiness. When someone steps into her life, they can sense her boundaries without her having to spell them out. That's the power of self-respect. It speaks louder than words ever could. This kind of woman doesn't engage in drama because she's too focused on peace. She's learned that chaos doesn't mean passion, and that love shouldn't cost her dignity. When she senses red flags, she doesn't ignore them. She walks away gracefully. Her silence in those moments isn't weakness, it's wisdom. She knows that protecting her energy is an act of self-love, and she refuses to shrink herself to fit into spaces that were never meant for her light. She celebrates others without jealousy because she's secure in her own journey. She's not in competition with anyone. She's aligned with her purpose. And that alignment radiates. Men feel it instantly, the calm confidence, the feminine softness mixed with strength. It's the kind of energy that doesn't beg to be chosen. It inspires someone to choose her. A woman who knows her worth doesn't play games. She doesn't manipulate, overanalyze, or perform. She's real. She shows up as herself and trusts that the right people will recognize her value without needing to be convinced. Her love is pure because it's not coming from fear, it's coming from fullness. And when a man meets a woman like that, something inside him shifts. He realizes he can't approach her casually. He has to bring his best self, or he'll lose her energy before he even understands it. She teaches him, without words, that real love is not found in possession. It's found in respect, intention, and mutual growth. Her energy says, I am whole with or without you. And that's exactly what makes her irresistible. Because when a woman knows her worth, her very presence becomes the standard. She doesn't chase love, she embodies it. To embody she's different energy daily, you have to understand. It's not about trying to be different, it's about choosing to live from your truth every single day. This kind of energy isn't a performance or a trend, it's a mindset, a lifestyle, and a quiet declaration that says, I know who I am, and I will not lose myself trying to be accepted. It's about alignment between how you see yourself and how you show up for the world. Every morning, before the world's noise creeps in, remind yourself that your worth isn't up for negotiation. You don't need to earn it, prove it, or explain it. You already have it. The difference between a woman who chases validation and one who radiates confidence is where she places her focus. The first looks outward, the second looks inward. She doesn't wait for compliments to feel beautiful. She sets the tone for how she'll be treated by the way she treats herself. She's different energy starts with emotional discipline. It's choosing not to react to every little thing that tries to pull you out of peace. It's knowing when to speak and when silence will say more. It's mastering the art of walking away, not out of pride, but out of self-respect. When you value your energy, you stop explaining your standards to those committed to misunderstanding them. That quiet confidence becomes your signature. It's also about how you nurture yourself. You protect your mental, emotional, and spiritual space. You don't gossip, compete, or compare. You move with grace, even when no one's watching. You speak with kindness, but you don't tolerate disrespect. You're honest, but not cruel. That balance, soft yet strong, kind yet clear, is what sets you apart. To embody this energy, you must also live with purpose. Fill your days with meaning, not just activity. Pursue things that make you feel alive. Whether that's your career, your creativity, your spirituality, or your growth. When your life has direction, you don't chase people. You attract experiences that match your vibration. And remember, this energy isn't about perfection. It's about presence. You can have a bad day and still be powerful. You can cry, heal, and still be radiant. What makes you different isn't that you never struggle. It's that you don't let the struggle define you. You rise softer, wiser, and stronger every time. She's different energy isn't something you switch on when people are watching. It's who you become when you decide that peace, self-worth, and authenticity will be your priorities. When you live like that, you don't have to convince anyone you're special. They'll feel it the moment you walk into the room, because your energy will speak the truth. Your words never have to. When you truly understand your worth, you stop trying to be the exception in someone else's story. You become the standard in your own. You stop fighting for attention and start commanding respect through how you live, how you love, and how you carry yourself. Being different isn't about being harder to get, it's about being harder to forget, because your energy leaves an imprint wherever you go. The world will try to convince you to shrink, to tone yourself down, to be more like everyone else, to fit a version of femininity that's easy to digest. But you weren't created to be digestible. You were created to be undeniable. Your presence, your power, your peace, they're not things to hide, they're things to honor. When you hold yourself to a higher standard, everything around you rises to meet it. Being the standard means you don't settle for halfway love, or for attention that comes with conditions. It means you know what alignment feels like, and you trust it enough to walk away from anything that doesn't match it. You don't chase potential, you attract consistency. You don't beg for effort, you inspire it. And here's the truth, when you become the standard, some people will fall away. That's okay. Let them. Not everyone is meant to meet you where you're going. Your growth will intimidate those still living in their comfort zones. But the ones who see your worth won't ask you to shrink. They'll rise to meet your energy. So keep choosing yourself. Keep showing up as the woman who leads with grace, who speaks with intention, who moves with purpose. Keep protecting your peace like it's sacred, because it is. Let your boundaries be firm, your love be pure, and your presence be powerful. You are not just another woman. You are a standard, a reflection of what it looks like to be whole, confident, and grounded in your truth. Don't dim that light to fit in. Let it guide others to rise higher. Remember this: being different isn't the goal. Being authentic is, and when you live authentically, you automatically become the standard. Not because you're trying to prove anything, but because you've finally remembered who you are. That's the moment he realizes you're not like other women. Because you never were, and now you finally know it too.